Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Terrian Saga KR-17. This is a new game on Steam from Wonderfling, and basically it is kind of a side-scrolling action platformer that is very reminiscent of like DOS-style games. I think like the old DOS Duke Nukem games, stuff like that. I'm just going to kind of jump in. I think that's going to be the easiest way to show this off. Just gonna skip through the story. The story is kinda cool, but it's definitely secondary to everything else, and that's certainly not a problem, in my opinion, because the focus here is very much the gameplay. The story is basically we are kind of like a rogue robot that should not be sentient and able to act on its own, but we are going to find out kind of who our true enemy is, things like that. So we've got a few moves here. We can obviously move, we can actually dash by double-clicking a direction. I am playing with an Xbox 360 controller, by the way, and it, for the most part, works really well. The controls were a little weird to figure out, especially on keyboard, which is why I'm doing Xbox controller, but they are fully customizable, so you can make them be what you want them to be. I just had a hard time finding exactly what worked best. As far as like what we can do here, so that was actually really bad. I don't want to do that. That was pretty bad of me. I actually hurt myself there, but that's okay. So what you saw there was our use of a special item. We do have 4 of them in the corner, you can see there, so I can sort through them. So we had our grenades, we've got fire, and then these 2 both act as mines, so I'm not going to use those. You can see in the top right corner, or top left corner, sorry, the top bar, which is red, is our health. The yellow bar below that is how much item power we have, so that acts as our special items. Other than that, of course, we can shoot, which you're seeing me kind of do constantly. You do see some frame rate flickering. That is normal. I always say if that's just a cause of my recording software or not, but I have run into a lot of kind of frame rate dips. That being said, I am playing on a pre-release build, so it very well may just be a result of that. Oh, I should mention too, because I forgot to mention the price. It is $4 for the opening week sale and $5 after that, so not bad at all. You can pick it up as kind of a cheap platformer kind of thing. I'm not totally sure. I must have just been accidentally pressing a button. I should save. This is the other thing we've got. We've got a nice jetpack here that we can use. So I'm actually going to go back here and get a secret. And again, being that it seems very kind of DOS influenced, we do have like little secrets and stuff hiding around. And again, you know, I say the DOS influence, I'm not sure if that's totally intentional, but to me it feels really intentional, and that's not a bad thing. That's cool. It seems like it wears its influences on its sleeve, and I certainly can't fault it for that at all. I personally like that. And kind of here's my story with this. I always tend to try and play these games for about an hour as I'm kind of figuring out if I like them or not. Here's the other thing we can do. We also have a rocket that we can use, and we get to control where it moves. So that's pretty cool. It gives us just another sort of method of kind of traveling and attacking enemies that are farther away from us, as well as solving some puzzles like you saw the one there. Anyways, yeah, so I tried to play these for about an hour, which is about what I did for this game. And what happened was I played it for about a half hour, and I was ready to be done. I didn't really enjoy my first half hour with it. I didn't really get it, and I just wasn't having a good time. But I came back, gave it a second chance after, you know, setting it down for a little while, and it kind of hit me that what this is doing is trying to be a DOS game. And then when I realized that, my enjoyment of it was much more realized, I guess I could say, because that's just like such a big part of this, is you have to sort of realize where it's coming from. And again, apologies to the devs if it's not actually inspired by DOS, but it certainly looks and feels like it. And for me, that was when I sort of got it. You could say that was kind of the moment that the game clicked with me. That what this is doing is it's kind of playing out like a DOS game, and I think that's great because, you know, we see a lot of games that lately kind of ape retro games. You know, we got things like Volgar the Viking and 1001 Spikes and Shovel Knight, all that kind of stuff, but those are all kind of aping, you know, some like Super Nintendo or even sometimes like Nintendo-based home console platformers, things like that. We don't see too many things play this kind of, oh, did I miss one? I must have missed a button somewhere. That's another big mechanic of the, oh yeah, I see where it is. Another big mechanic of this game is, oh no, I did press that one. Well, we will be searching for the button. Oh, there it is. Is this button activation system. So before we can leave each level, we have to activate a certain amount of buttons. Well, we do have to activate all of the buttons. So you can see up there we've got 7 in the level, but certain doors also have requirements before they will open up. So that's what's going on with that. As far as like the platforming controls, they can be a little iffy, and that's mostly in like your movement. I find that the movement is sometimes you're just like a little slidey, I've found, and that's again maybe kind of DOS influenced. I haven't played too many DOS games, so I'm not sure how much of that is influenced there. This is one movement thing I am really not okay with. Check this out. If I don't move, the box doesn't carry me, which hit me as kind of a big surprise because I'm just used to, like, if you've got to ride a moving platform somewhere, you jump on and you're fine. I actually have to control my character and move along with this. I mean, once I understood that, I got it fine, but it feels a little odd. And again, I'm not sure if there's a reason for that happening, like if that was kind of standard old practice, or if I'm just crazy, or what. But as far as like complaints about the game, that might be the only thing. You know, but like I said, I had a big turning point with this game. I would say if you are, you know, if you pick it up, and I do suggest that you do, especially if you've got a fondness for DOS games, if you like, you know, little kind of platforming experiences like this, then, you know, it's $4 for the opening week sale. I certainly would not tell you to skip it. Seems like a pretty good deal. I'm having a good time with it so far, but stick with it. You know, don't give up on it at first glance, because you may have a turning point like I did. And it's not often that a game does that for me, so that's kind of special. Like, normally if I play a game for like a half hour and don't like it, that's it. Like, the game isn't going to win me back. But this one definitely did. I'm not totally sure why it hit me, but it did, and I gotta give that to it. Now I'm having a good time with it, although also typical of DOS, like, it is pretty tough. Like, don't go into this expecting to just kind of soar right through it. There is definitely a lot of difficulty. These first few levels we're not going to see too much, but on my save I actually just finished the first boss, and that was pretty tough. And there's supposed to be like 6 or 7 bosses, I think, in the game. A lot of areas to explore, a lot of levels. I think it took me 5 or 6 levels or so, and these ones are pretty short compared to the last few in the chapter. So there's definitely a lot going on here. I think for the asking price, it is a very good deal. You're definitely going to get your money's worth out of this one, especially if you can kind of get behind what it's doing in the kind of game that it's trying to be. The other thing is these levels have sort of like a backtrack kind of thing to it. It's not exactly backtracking, but oh, that was silly of me. And I only say that because it's optional if you want to do the backtracking stuff, but like to collect all the gears in a level, you will probably have to do some backtracking, which is totally fine. I think that's cool. It gives completionists something to strive for, a little above and beyond the game. But you know, I like that it's there as something that is totally optional, because sometimes I like doing that stuff, but if it's too difficult, I don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time with it. And I've had some times where I thought I wanted to do it at a certain level, and then it turned out to be a little too difficult. It's nice to know that it's just there for you if you would like to. Honestly, that's kind of the gameplay, though. It doesn't really like shake things up too much past what you're seeing here. The jetpack, I think, is kind of the biggest difference. We get some levels where we're using jetpack to a great extent, and it kind of provides, like here we're about to get the jetpack, and then we can do some pretty crazy stuff. There's a lot of hidden stuff like that you will find, which is cool. I like that. The jetpack really kind of opens the game up and turns each level into more of like an exploration kind of thing, which I think is fun. So like here I found the exit, but I can't go through yet because I don't have... Oh yeah, those guys give me a lot. Or I guess the exit is farther this way, but I actually can't go there yet because I haven't pressed all 9 red buttons. Oh, from a visual standpoint, it definitely also feels very much like a DOS game. You can probably tell that for sure if you've seen anything that's DOS. It is pretty obvious, to me at least, that that's what they were going for from an art perspective. I think that's totally cool. Like, if that's what you're influenced by, then, you know, do it to the full extent, and they certainly have here. So that is nice to see, kind of this full commitment to the art style, and I think that's awesome. It's got a nice art style, I think. Everything looks really nice. The animations are really nice. Very, very reminiscent of DOS games and the animations and stuff like that. I actually love like the fire animation, how it'll move and then just kind of stick. I think that looks great. Like, you know, it definitely feels like I'm playing Duke Nukem or something like that. Or, you know, any other of the, like, really kind of classic DOS games to play. Whoa! Alright, so now we just have to find a few more buttons, which is not always the easiest thing to do. Especially, like I said, like levels where it gives you the jetpack. You are going to be looking around quite a bit to find all the buttons. As far as like the music goes, I think it's pretty good. I would love to have maybe like a little bit more variety. Oh, that was bad. A lot of one-hit kills, that's for sure. So be prepared for that if you pick this up. But again, that's kind of in the style of these kind of games. Definitely not unheard of. That's only for 2 gears though, so I'm not going to go for it. Again, it's just kind of a totally extra thing. Alright, there we go. These are to open up more doors, so if there are blue doors, I can now open them. So that will be helpful, I'm sure, at some point. Yeah, the music I think is great, what's here. But like I said, I'd love to see a little bit more variety. Okay. So I gotta figure out where the heck the last button is. This is not always easy when it comes down to having one button left like this. Oh, there it is though. So that worked out pretty well. And I should be home free as long as I don't run into one of those birds. Speaking of... Oh no! Oh, I tried using a bomb and I accidentally, If you can shoot the bombs, so you can actually, hurt yourself. Like, your bombs actually hurt you. Which is kind of funny. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to... Oh, there we go, I did get him. Perfect. Yeah, you know, I'd say, like, all around, I'm really enjoying this game. It just makes me feel like I'm playing kind of old school games like this again, and that's a great feeling to have if you were into games like that. You know, as a kid, then I think you are going to be pleased with this. Certainly not disappointed. I'm not, that's for sure. I think I could pretty easily recommend this to really anyone who likes platformers. Even if you weren't kind of a fan of DOS games, or never had a chance to play DOS games, I suppose, either. If you are a much younger viewer, then I think you could still find quite a bit of fun out of this. So yeah, I think that I can pretty easily recommend this. I will have a link in the description to where you can go pick it up on the Steam store. And at the price, I would certainly suggest that you do that. So, I think that's where we're going to end it off for today, though. As always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you would like to comment about. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos from me every single day. And of course, if you like the video, then please do consider clicking the like button, as that helps me out a lot, and I greatly appreciate everything you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.